Hello folks, and welcome to another video from a Plain Truth Space for you and Well Healed too. The majority believes that everything hard to comprehend must be very profound. That is incorrect. What is hard to understand is what is immature, unclear, and false. Highest wisdom simply passes through the brain directly to the heart. Victor Schauberger. Victor Schauberger, if you don't know, is the Nikola Tesla of water. Vortex water, structured water, healing water, levitating water. He was known as the water wizard in Austria in the 1840s until his, again, untimely death. But what I want to bring to you is how we can all use magnets. I just learned this from Dr. Garcia last weekend with his buddy who's been working with fertilizers, magnetized fertilizer and water, and how to structure your own pipes coming into your homes so that you can create your own vortex water healing and use less water and grow more food. It is another huge solution to the many problems we're having using magnetism, and these are the placements. I'll get into it in a little bit more. But Victor Schauberger is something that everybody needs to learn about, because he took the energy of vortex energy. Tornadoes are vortex energy. They concentrate power. They start wide and get narrow and focus their power, focus their energy into a central source, creating power. That's how it works. One of the many discoveries Mr. Schauberger found is rivers. They create vortex energy from starting small or wide and narrowing down to create vortex energy. This is why rivers meander. They're energy creating devices, and this is what he learned when he stepped in a trout stream high up in the Austrian Alps when his families were loggers and they could ship logs down using vortex energy water and the anomalies of water constitution to lift heavy, heavy logs and not have to destroy mules and whatnot using water vortex energy. And this is exactly what this device does. So the reds are the positives, the blacks are the negatives. Reds push out, blacks push in. And what these magnet placements, these four pairs place, water comes into your house from left to right, and then out it comes the vortex structured water into your home using these four placements that you would wrap around, tape around, tie around your pipes coming into your home, into your apartment, into your gardens, or into your main water supply. This would be the setup you would use. You would place the red magnets pairs around the pipe, then the black and red, and finally the double pair red that go into your home. And this would create this vortex energy, according to the person that's been working on this for over 5-6 years. And they say your crops will go bigger, your water will be softer, you'll enjoy more health, and you'll enjoy more of the water forces that Dr. Emoto gets into as well in your intention in your water. So how does magnets structure and create the vortex energy, and what does it do? Magnetation's chemical-free, energy-free, and maintenance-free water treatment utilizes various principles of physics to reduce the atomic weight of minerals and degas water. Principles of physics include magnetism, Lorentz force, static mixing, vortexing, hydrodynamic cavitation, and Venturi. After breaking down to smaller water molecule clusters, they are held in suspension, unable to coagulate and stick together. That is what makes magnation's water softer and easier to absorb. Anyway, treating magnets. Energized and activated, the magnet treatment rain-like water is life-giving boost. The results in a lowered surface tension and viscosity, friction loss, improved water flow, scale and biofilm control, disrupts ability for it to build up, improved water infiltration, and moisture retention in soils. And improved water quality, less water consumption, less energy requirements, less chemicals and maintenance needed, improved mixing, productivity with higher yields, and better plant and soil quality, all with zero byproducts. Sound good? So the effects of the North Pole, which is the negative pulling energy, and the South circle is the pole is the positive pushing energy, the male principle, pulling and pushing our magnets. So by placing these magnets, we're getting the vortex energy created by the placements shown. North polarity stabilizes, calms, and sedates, and also reduces pain, infection, and inflammation. The south polarity, the pushing on the other hand, is acid-producing, enervating, biologically disorganizing, and may accelerate bacteria growth. It also creates an acidic state. But with these placements, it brings it to vortex energy. That's why there's more black placements in this layout design than there is red pushing out energy. It's pulling back in homeostasis. Magnets with a south polarity should only be used under the care of a trained practitioner. No, you can do it yourself. The fact that our bodies consist of mainly water and all our body processes are heavily dependent on water has led to research into the possibility of using magnetized water to promote health and disease. Magnetized water has also been found in use of treatment of swimming pools. Researchers at the UK discovered they could reduce the amount of chlorine needed to kill bacteria by 30%. At South Carolina Medical University, they found cleaning your teeth with magnetized water can reduce calculus formations by over 60% and improve overall gum health. Use of magnetized water increased farm yield from anywhere to 5 to 20%. Cows drinking magnetized water produce more milk and were healthier than cows drinking untreated water. Sheep produce more wool, meat, hens laid more eggs, and all farm animals survived longer when drinking magnetized water. The vitalizing and healing properties of magnetized water to be intimately tied with its memory. Remember, water is memory. We're 2/3 water. During its passage through contaminated soil, miles of iron and plastic pipe and treatment plants where it is exposed to toxic chemicals, it loses vitality, aka structure. And then you add the fluoride and all the other crap they're putting in our water and all the geoengineering stuff coming down from the skies into the soil and water. Well, we got a heap of toxicity coming into our water, folks. By the time it comes out of the tap, it is essentially lifeless. Fact. So I'll put that in. And then another feature, this is a Vortex magnetic systems. The magnetic water treatment prevents mineral buildup, so you won't need the filters as much, or maybe you won't need filters at all. For the I have to filter for iron on my ranch where I use the well water. Non-chemical technologies for scale and hardness control. The effects of magnetic field on water hardness reducing, effects of magnetized water on sulfate ions and trickle irrigation, on and on, all these benefits. But look at the pictures. Proof is in the pudding. So here's some wheat treated with the super imploder Vortex system, and look at that, double the crop size, same time frame. Here's some plants, one with the super imploder water with magnetized water, here with not, and you can see the results after time, at least a doubling of size. And this is what we're finding, is that this type of energy using water is proven to be successful by breaking up the water clusters and getting them back into homeostasis, or their correct balance for the highest energy healing water you can have. Magnetic treatment of irrigation water and vegetable crop yield and productivity. And I'll put these in the show in the show notes. But you can see the yield increased 12 and 23%, 12 and 24%, 12 and 13% respectively. So the results are profound. All right. And you can go through this article here yourself.
The other day, a friend of mine brought over a device that he had purchased. It was a $35 Vortex device, very similar to what I'm showing you here, except it had pin magnets that went inside of it. And it was a very, very powerful device. As a matter of fact, it was too powerful because I had, we brought it over and spun up some water, and I had 2 big glasses of water with it. And then afterwards he said, oh, I should have told you that you're only supposed to have 4 ounces in the morning and 4 ounces at night. And I thought, no big deal. But for the next 2 days I was feeling pretty rough detoxing because it was powerful. For me, the most effective way I found was to have the north pushing in, the north pushing in, and a south pushing in, and a south pushing in this way. And that's what I have here in this red one. And let me spin it here. Let's get this going here. And it's best to fill these about 2/3 of the way with water, so you have some room at the top to get the thing to swirl.
This is all accomplished using this setup. You don't need the plastics. You don't need to order it. Just get the magnets from US Biomag, and you can do this yourself to your own pipes.
But what happens is, as the vortex goes down into these magnetic fields, it breaks the molecule, the clusters of water, it breaks them down into a smaller size so they can actually penetrate deeper into the body. And I did find that when I was using this water to wash out dishes and stuff, it did seem to have like it was softer, and it also has a smoother taste to it. So it does definitely appear to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Test the quality of the water, because it has a semiconductive property to it. And these coils, if you've seen my Orgonite alert, you'll see that I discovered that EMF is interfacing with coils and crystals, especially if the coils have a 1/4 inch spacing on them. EMF gets caught up in there, and anions are thrown out one side and cations are thrown out the other. But the interesting thing about structured water like this is it creates like a semiconductive field or shield around it to where the EMF cannot interface with the coils, and this field actually goes out about 4 feet on this one. So that really gives me an indication as to how strong it is.
And as you can see, the results are dramatic and proven using structured water, magnetic treated water to create the correct vortex for growth. The evidence is there, and we can all do this if we have the magnets. And here you can see pictures of magnetized water. Look at how much structured the cells become from unstructured water coming in. And so you can see how the water molecules, they'll bond, they'll get all the gases in them, they'll take in all the PVC plastics and everything in there, but using polarity, using magnetism, we create the Vortex energy device that allows the plants to love and crave the water. They need water, they need soil, they need sun. And here's a picture of the structured water that would be going through your pipes, placed on the magnetic setup I showed you in the video here, and I'll put in the notes as well. But back to Victor Schellberger, he was also the one that developed the Hitler used with the anti-gravitation devices.
So what happens, we're breaking down the larger clusters of molecules that are made up of all the minerals in the water. As they go through the system, they're broken up and pulverized, put into suspension, and energized. And as they come out of the system, they're separated and activated. So they're not sticking together, they're not insulating the water molecule. And if there are any gases trapped in these larger clusters, they're dissipated. So that lowers the surface tension of the water and the viscosity of the water. So the water flows easier, penetrates the ground better, holds in the ground longer, and it saves you water. It improves the mixing for fertilizers and chemicals. Overall productivity of the water impacting your bottom line operational costs.
Yes, we have all the water we want. The water is as low as 300 feet all the ground, but scarcity, they want to create the scared cities with the scarcities, drive up prices, just like fossil fuels are another big joke on all of us. And they're perpetuating all of the scarcities. The water is going to be regulated like crazy in California, 2022, down to 50 gallons a day, where you're going to get $100 a day fines if you overuse your water, more state of oil well coming in. But the magnet placements on your pipes coming into your homes, your apartment, wherever it's coming in, or you can stick them on your faucet where you use most of your water, is this placement right here. Also, just sticking one red magnet underneath your water bottle will help structure your water. So just take one red magnet face up, put your water bottle on top of that every day, and that will help structure your water as well. But these can go around your PVC pipe. I'm going to do a demonstration when we get out to the gardens and show you how it's done, and maybe get a clear piece so we can see the vortex energy that's being created. But also you can see where they use vortex energy and the powers that be, and they create these cymatic waters using energy, frequency, and vibration, using Victor Schellberger's water principles as well. And you can clearly see this is how they do. They treat it on a much larger scale. We're treating our own water devices using the structured water magnets that you can get at US Biomag. So get on US Biomag, get on the products, and order some magnets, 4 pair, and then put your treatments out following this diagram. So in closing, you can go to usbiomag.com under products to order the 4 pair of magnets to build your structured water on the pipes to your home. And also another sidebar with the Beyond Biomagnetism seminar. There's still openings in New Jersey. We're sold out here in California for October, but in November, you can still sign up with Dr. Garcia. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. Plain truth out, peace, love one another, and let the waters heal.